Dodgy used cars cost Australians more than $500 million every year. It's big business. So here's how to sidestep rebirthing and other used car sales scams by making sure you don't unwittingly drive away in a repaired write-off. This report is inspired by Stephen, who contacted me via the website. He's thinking of buying a 2014 Kia Rio that's a repaired write-off, effectively 40% below fair market value for the equivalent used car. So it's above board, but is it a good idea? A repaired write-off is the $6 million man of used cars, only it's not better, stronger or faster. The best you can hope for is that it's almost as good and a lot cheaper. So here's how to make sure you get what you're actually paying for.
Gentlemen, we can rebuild him.
Repairable write-offs happen when insurance companies declare a vehicle uneconomical to repair. This might be following a crash or some other insurance event like a flood or severe hail. The owner cops a cash payout or a new replacement vehicle, whatever the policy stipulates, and the wreck is generally sold at auction. Depending on how crap the condition, that wreck might go to that great car park in the sky that we call a wrecker, who strips it and just sells the parts. But if it's only partly crappy, 5.0 or less on the crapodemiological scale, that's a technical term, it might end up repaired, inspected, re-registered and resold. Backyarders do that for fun and profit all the time. Now, because YouTube is global and I live in Australia, the perfect environment for the descendant of a British bread-stealing criminal, I can only comment on the repairable write-off legalities down here, where the Coriolis acceleration of the Earth turns hurricanes into cyclones by forcing them to rotate in the other direction. It's true, they do. Nothing is intrinsically wrong with repaired write-offs, provided the repairs are done to a professional standard. But I wouldn't be paying the full freight for one. I'd want a discount for the abuse it's suffered in the past. Just like when you meet a woman and she refers to her father as that bastard. There are scumbags with the underlying ethics of a death adder who routinely attempt to pass off these repaired write-offs as run-of-the-mill used cars at the full market price. So you have to protect yourself from inheriting one of these without the appropriate discount. We'll get to that. In Australia, there are essentially two categories of written-off cars: repairable write-offs and statutory write-offs. Statutory write-offs are the ones that, by law, must never be repaired. They're usually badly damaged and they can only be sold legally for spare parts. Although there is an even lower class of bottom-feeding scumbag who will repair and attempt to sell you a statutory write-off, purporting to be a high-quality used car. Here in New South Wales, which is where Sydney is, no, it's an important clarification for anyone watching the video dead from the neck up. The state government made it illegal in 2011 to re-register any repaired write-off. Here, they can only be scrapped and sold for parts, and that was done in an attempt to reduce rebirthing. If you haven't yet got your PhD from criminal university, rebirthing is where you steal a car, you park it somewhere unobtrusive, and then you buy a wreck of the same make and model. Then you transfer the wreck's identity to the stolen car and attempt to sell it as if it's above board. Whole new identity. Jason Bourne without Treadstone. Rebirthing is just like the automotive equivalent of cloning, if it were the Armenian mob doing the science as opposed to actual geneticists. That is one hell of a good-looking man. Just a random observation. This set of zero-tolerance write-off repair rules only applies here in New South Wales. Other Australian states still allow you to repair and re-register repairable write-offs. There's even an official inspection process to get them re-registered and back on the road. But the unique laws in New South Wales mean legally repaired and re-registered write-offs from other states cannot be transferred to a New South Wales registration. So bad luck if you plan on moving here with one of those. Most people buying a used car in Australia do a revs check, which reveals financial encumbrance. It's bad to buy a vehicle used as a security over a car loan because it can be repossessed if the loan is not discharged with the proceeds of sale. But a revs check won't identify repaired write-offs. In Australia, there's an official written-off vehicle register, and the best way for you to access the data on that register is to drop $37 online and get an official car history report. In addition to the financial liability check that you'd get from revs, a car history report will give you the vehicle's full insurance claim history. It'll tell you if it's ever been stolen or written off. You'll also get a valuation and the registration details, plus a bunch of other sundry information. It could just be the best $37 insurance policy of all time. To get that car history report, you'll need the vehicle's VIN code, a 17-digit alphanumeric code, effectively a serial number, that's located on an official plate in the engine bay or inside a door frame. You should also check that the code on this plate matches the code on the registration papers exactly. So when you're inspecting a used car, bring a flashlight with you because that kind of thing can be hard to identify. You want the engine number as well, and that can be dirty and sometimes hard to see deep in the engine bay. But it's worth the effort making sure the physical VIN code and the engine number match the ones on the registration paperwork. Because if they don't, it's Jim Lovell and Fred Hayes on April 14, 1970 all over again.
Okay, Houston, we've had a problem here.
This is Houston. Say again, please.
Houston, we've had a problem. We are venting something out into space.
Roger, we copy your venting.
It's a gas of some sort.
A serious problem. In the absence of having mission control to sort that out, the other thing you really should do, no matter where you live on Earth, is get your own trusted independent mechanic to inspect the car. Not only for its mechanical health, but also for evidence of major crash repair work, especially dodgy crash repair work, which is easy to spot if you know what to look for. Flood damage is another common cause of repaired write-offs, and that leaves telltales that a trained mechanic will spot, in addition to a high tide mark halfway up the doors and water under the carpet in the footwells. If you buy a repaired write-off, you need to tell your insurance company that that's what it is. That's part of your duty of disclosure, to tell the insurer anything that materially affects their decision to insure you. The final thing you need to clarify is the vehicle's warranty status with the manufacturer. That's especially important for reasonably new cars like the 2014 Rio that Stephen's sniffing around, which sparked this report. Don't just presume the balance of the factory warranty protects you, because you might find the factory warranty makes like the cryogenic oxygen tank on Apollo 13 as a consequence of the car being written off. And here's the last big question. Should you buy a repaired write-off at all, even if it's legal and above board? If everyone could afford a new car, used cars would be stacked 100 high at the junkyard. And if everybody could afford a late model used car, nobody would ever repair a write-off. The fact is, these cars exist because there's a market. Just don't kid yourself, they're as good as a car that's never been written off. Crash repaired cars tend to rust. Flood damaged cars are prone to electrical problems. Severe damage is hard to fix, at least totally, and you do get what you pay for. I'll have links to the revs check and the car history check in the YouTube description below, as well as links to the blog post for more information. If you want to save thousands on a new car, contact me online at autoexpert.com.au. You'll get the right vehicle at the right price, and I'll help you sidestep the lemons and the rip-offs. Don't forget to subscribe for regular updates and leave a comment below. Let me know what you think. I'm John Cadogan. Thanks for watching.